On today's episode of Watch JR Go, we're here with my newest acquisition. I told you guys I was trading that Dodge for something cool, and I am super excited about this one. You can already see it. It's a Colorado ZR2. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and today I am here with my new to me, again, I have no idea what year, Chevy Colorado LS, I think. I think this is an LS because it has no options, Colorado ZR2. And one reason I am super excited about it is because I have its twin. And it's kind of its twin, the Hummer H3. They are the same chassis underneath and the same drivetrain, so it's very cool. And obviously I've got a brand new transmission that just came back, and we are going to talk about that soon as we put that transmission back in. Take a look at all those beautiful parts. New torque converter, transmission's ready to rock and roll, all new seals all the way through. I mean, it's a fresh rebuild, and it's going to make the Hummer good as new. I love that they're both black, and I love that they're the same car, but they have a lot of differences. Let's get into it. First things first, we need to see what year this thing is, because like I said, I don't know. I don't ask any questions. I just said, oh, a Colorado for a Ram? 100% yes. So this thing looks like it's probably a 2007, 09 of 06 manufacture date on there. It's clearly black. It has steps, factory steps it looks like. It has the factory Z, it says Z71. That can't be true. I should honestly decode the VIN, but if anything, I think it should be a ZR2 off-road. That really does say Z71, doesn't it? So something looks wrong there. I may be wrong. It may not be a ZR2. It may not be a Z71. It may be a nothing, because this does have no options. You can see the Colorado LS badge there on the back, which means like limited standard or something. I don't know what the L's for, but it means it has no options. It does have a nice working tailgate that opens nicely with a little bit of a squeak and shuts nicely. It's got a bed liner, it's got a hitch, it's got a 7-pin. It has the factory chrome wheels, which is kind of weird. I feel like the LS wouldn't have had the chromies on it. Now, of course, all of the chrome is coming off the wheels, as everything from this era is, but the center caps, the plastic center caps, and its chrome, those look pretty nice. It's got some Nexons on it, and the tires are in pretty good shape, about the same shape as the Nittos that were on that Ram. And weirdly, the chrome mirror cap, and I think a lot of this thing's been repainted or painted, because these things probably had chrome bumpers. I don't think you got paint matched bumpers until you went way up. So this thing probably had its bumpers painted at some point. The paint on them just doesn't look right. Somebody also decided to go all in on the mini truck and lifestyle here. Check it out, it does have the front fog lights. Those look good. And they threw a sunroof in this truck, which is odd because it leaks. And my buddy that traded this for the Ram told me that it doesn't leak in the rain, but in a car wash, it does leak a little bit. Look how good it looks. It looks pretty stunning there with the F-250 behind it. Even the fake Z71 badges, those look good as well. So, like I said, I'll run a VIN decoder on this here in just a moment, so we'll know what we're talking about. It does have the old GM chiclet on the side. That's long gone now because it was controversial, but I kind of like those little chiclets. Anyway, it's very low to the ground, very easy to get in with the steps. I don't think you need steps on these trucks, but it's nice, and I am excited. Let's look under the hood. What this truck does not share with my Hummer is the fact that it's not powered by the 5-cylinder. It does not have, I think, the 4600 that's in the Hummer. This one is powered by the Vortec 2900, the 2.9 liter 4-cylinder here, and it's a really big 4-cylinder, honestly. Now, a buddy of mine got this super cheap and was going to use it to pull his camper. Well, he did pull his camper with it, a 4,000-pound camper, and he said he quickly found out that pulling a big old camper with this thing is not fun in any way. But before he traded me trucks here, he did do the valve cover gasket. You can see the new washers on there, and it has a brand new gasket. And he said this thing, when he got it, wouldn't run because somebody had overfilled it with oil, and there was so much oil in this thing that it filled up the actual intake. He had to pull the intake off and take self-tapping screws and use them to punch holes in the intake. He said he had to put a whole bunch of them in there. It's a big plastic intake, and he used the self-tappers to make holes, let all the oil drain out, and then RTV'd them and shot them back in to fix the problem. Now, obviously, that's a good fix. It's either that or pull the whole thing off and, you know, end up bench draining it and cleaning it and trying to get all of it out. I like his idea. He basically built a drain and sealed it off, and it'll never come out. So it's a great fix. But that's the reason he got this thing cheap, is because the last owner thought the engine had been condemned, basically. Somebody told him the engine was trash. My buddy found a bunch of oil in the thing, cleaned all the oil out, drained the thing down, changed the oil, and boom, it runs perfectly. And when I start it up, you'll hear that it runs perfectly. This little 4-cylinder does have variable valve timing and a bunch of other goodies that let it get really good gas mileage, better than the 5-cylinder too, in exchange for a little less horsepower. So let's dig into this thing a little bit more and show you guys. I mean, first, it's really clean under the hood and really clean inside and really clean outside. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna dig into this thing and show you guys all the rest of the truck. Is it snowing again? At least this only lasts like 2 days or something like that, and then it'll all be gone. This is like standing in a blizzard. I'm getting obliterated here. So that little 2.9 liter 4-cylinder in the Colorado makes 185 horsepower and 190 foot-pounds of torque. It's a torquey little 4-cylinder there. And honestly, it's pretty big, pretty stout, and I think those things take boost really well. Now this one is not gonna get boosted, obviously. Let's keep checking out this base model Colorado. That's a very workable truck. These have to be aftermarket. These handles don't fit at all. But they kind of look cool. They kind of look mil-spec-y, but I'm pretty sure the factory handles are the ones with the little spring that go back up to the ceiling when you let go of them. Anyway, on the doors here, we have literally manual everything. We have manual locks, manual windows, crank windows, that is. Like I said, it is an LS. There are no options, but GM, not one to mess around, left you with auto headlights, so huge shout out to them for that. That is a much needed feature. It also has fog lights, which is kind of interesting for an LS, and there is the bed light right there. We've got our gauge dimming or instrument dimming right there. Oh yeah, it even turns on the interior lights. Kind of cool. Parking brake release, and it does have cruise, so I guess that's actually an option worth mentioning when there's no options. So we got cruise, wipers, turn signals, all that good stuff. A great gauge cluster. I've always loved this gauge cluster. It's simple, to the point, and it has this really cool font that makes it look like it's fast. Here's our column shifter right there for the 4-speed automatic that's in this thing. And it has an aftermarket head unit, a dual with Bluetooth, so that's nice. It's already ready to rock and roll. Apparently every car that I get this week will have a dual with Bluetooth. We're 2 for 2. And we have our climate controls down here. This is the same exact HVAC control from the Colorado. I'm actually a big fan of this climate control because it just doesn't break. A lot of the manual ones, they're worse than digital ones these days. But this one always feels really solid, and it feels light. And the lightness means that everything's working as it's supposed to, and I don't have to worry about it all breaking. There's our fan, AC, it does have AC. 2 12-volt power outlets right down there. A nice little glove box that is full of junk. Wow, it came with Rice Krispie treats and Quick Trip cards and permanent markers and gloves and the manual. The manual's in there. I guess these are all receipts for the car. And Dillon's Plus cards. We got Dillon's cards. If you guys aren't from Kansas, this is Kroger and King Soopers and whatever it's called. Loaf and Jug, or you know, whatever. This is Kroger in Kansas. Quick Trip rewards, lots of rewards, melted Rice Krispies. I don't know, I'd say all that looks like junk to me. Kind of a cool Christmas tree here, and not enough of them to be a felony forest. That's just a singular right there. That's classy. Any more than that, felony forest. And then of course, a mirror that has nothing. Look at this mirror. It has no options except for tilt to dim, and that doesn't even seem to work right because the mirror's not attached very well. Anyway, the glue has failed on the sun visors, so they have their fabric on one side and plastic on the other. Kind of nice that these are plastic. A lot of the old ones were cardboard, and the cardboard obviously falls apart on all old sun visors. Chipboard, cardboard, something like that. I know somebody's going to correct me and say they're not cardboard, but the reality is it's some kind of synthetic or pressed board. And here is our sun visor. How's this thing work, or a sunroof? It looks like you just do that. Not bad. Hey, it's a sunroof. Now, the one thing it's missing is a flip-down armrest, and I don't know how they didn't make this a flip-down armrest. it's technically a seat. You're supposed to be able to put a person here. As long as that person is 4 years old, I think they'll fit. They've got exactly 8 inches to sit. We've probably all been there. I know I have. I've had 3 people in one of these things before. It is an incredibly tight fit, and it can be done. It's just not a great ride. Obviously, that didn't take long at all. An incredibly quick tour because there's really not much to talk about in this thing. It's super simple, and there's really no options. I still wish I had power windows, power locks, and a remote. Those are kind of basic livability things in the year of our Lord 2023. It's fine. That's where I'm going with this truck. Let's get it out on the road and take it for a drive. This is one bumpy mobile right there. But honestly, it's not too bad. I think the shocks are okay. A little bouncy after a bump, but I mean, there's no clunking or anything like that out of the suspension on this thing. And so far, that's all I've got to experience of driving it. But it came with a half tank of gas. It came with a check engine light on and 125, almost 126,000 miles on it. And this thing is super smooth and nice to drive. Try out our suspension here. Yeah, this thing's not bad at all. It drives straight, no hands on the wheel, almost autonomous right there, just because the front end's really heavy in these things. I don't know why the front ends in these things are very heavy. I think it's just because they didn't turn the power steering up enough. They could have used more power steering. All right, so coming from basically a stop. Let's see, that's a 4-way stop, right? All right, let's floor this thing. I just need to know. It can't even spin the tires. 30, 40. Oh, it's flying by the time it gets to 40. It's like really building some speed. That 190 foot-pounds of torque does not feel like it's there, I gotta say, because it didn't spin the tires at all, and then it took a long time to get 0 to 20, and then once it got to 30, it was just kind of flying to 40. So it's kind of what you'd expect from a pretty heavy truck, honestly. This is nothing like the old mini trucks of yesteryear, the Japanese ones. If you grew up with like the Datsuns and the Nissan, hard body, all that stuff, those were lightweight trucks. This is not that. It actually weighs quite a bit more, and you can feel that weight. So those things were kind of peppy with a 4-cylinder. This is not. And that's probably why my work truck of this I had the 5-cylinder. And the 5-cylinder, it won't even spin the tires in a turn. 40, it chirps the belt. 50, and 60. It's fine. I mean, you can definitely merge into traffic with this thing. It's not gonna have any problems. I think it's about as fast as that Ram was from yesterday. So, you know, it's not gonna win any performance awards, but that's not what it's meant to do. It's just meant to get you around town and haul some groceries in the back, tree limbs, clean up around the house, maybe even a mower. Technically, like I said, it can tow 4,000 pounds, but I don't recommend it because, like I said, my buddy tried to tow his camper with it and it did not work out very well. So, it drives great, super smooth, shifts great. The best thing about this engine is the fact that there's a 4L60 behind it, and a 4L60 with no horsepower never breaks. As we know, like 1500s with a 4.8 in them, they seem to never break. They never need transmissions. This is probably on an original transmission at 125,000 miles, and I bet it makes it 300,000 miles because it can just do that when you don't put any power through them. Let's try other important things. So the air is already on, and we'll give it a second here. Oh, it's cold, instantly cold. Hey, that Ram that I traded for this also had ice cold working air. So kind of interesting when you're getting cheap cars, air usually doesn't work. So that's also 2 for 2. We got 2 dual radios and 2 working air conditioners. Pretty incredible. 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3 quick maths. Anyway, that is my 07 Colorado LS. Could probably use my turn signal. I was thinking this was a BMW as I was driving around, but this thing's great. Feels solid. I thought I saw its twin, but honestly, that old OBS 1500 is like the same size as this. Trucks have just gotten big lately, and this is, you know, sort of still a mini truck. And I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, I think this thing is leaving as well because I don't have any room in my driveway. And yesterday, when my friend was coming to get the Ram, another guy hit me up asking if he could buy the Ram, and I was like, tell you what, I got a Colorado instead. And I think he's coming to get this. So the whole goal at the end of the day was to get my driveway empty, and I think we've accomplished that. And we got to play with a couple trucks on the way. So that was a lot of fun. And I did finally, with this, I finally got my money back from the Jag. I needed $4,000 out of the Jag, and this is worth more than $4,000. So I will finally be free of the hole that I put myself in with that car, because I don't know, I did a great job on that thing. I fixed basically everything on it. It drove great, and I couldn't sell it. You can sell trucks. There's always trucks. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjaguar.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Look at that, the auto lights came right to life. And we've got a nice Kansas sunset to drive around in. Before we're done with this thing, I am gonna scan it real quick. I wanna see what that check engine light is. I'm kinda interested. So we've got the scanner hooked up. You do have to select that it is a Colorado. And there it pulled everything else. 2.9, 4-cylinder, LLV, half-ton, blah, blah, blah. We have, we'll call it a base radio, and it does not have, interesting, this truck doesn't have traction control. There's an option for that. Good old GM. It scans every module so fast on these things. It is amazing. And it shows the whole CAN bus. I love it.
What up?
What's up, dude?
Chillin', killing, smoking blunt.
What do you think about my, latest purchase?
Oh, new shoes?
No. It matches the shoes.
Haircut.
It matches the shoes. No, it's the truck. It's the truck.
Oh, hey, look, it's a new truck.
If you weren't sure. Dude, you know what's hilarious? I was like, I wonder what the check engine light is, and I was yelling at Kelly. He was like, it's probably a gas cap. Guess what? It just pulled up.
Gas cap?
Evap system flow during non-purge. It's probably the gas cap.
Probably the gas cap.
Unbelievable.
Let's take a look at this gas cap.
Wow. Is it loose? Is it loose? Oh, that gas cap looks horrible.
Dude, there's like no seals
and
or
I think,
nothing on here.
Yeah, it looks like the O-ring's pretty toast.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We fixed that.
I'll be darned, Kelly.
Kelly's a genius. He literally...
Dude, he did it. Congratulations.
That man just guessed. Okay.
He gassed?
He just guessed.
He just gassed.
He just gassed. This truck has no more problems. We are all greens. That's pretty cool. Well, you need a truck?
Probably.
This is the one. Well, there you go. Hopefully our gas cap tightened down fixes that. If it doesn't, it's probably one of the solenoids, but it's an easy fix either way. I am excited about that.
So we made shake and bake, and I helped.
Shake and bacon. A little bit of shake and bake. All right, we have to retire now. That was too good.
Yeah.